Good morning. Happy Sunday. You are my density. Destiny. Like the new shirt, Back to the Future. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're just going to have a chill Q&A just like we do every Sunday. I'm going to answer as many questions from you as I can. Cannot promise that I'm going to get to everybody, but we're going to get to as many as possible. And if you're here with me on a Sunday morning or wherever in the world you're at, if you're here with me live, high five to you. And if you happen to be watching the replay, that's cool too. High five for you as well. And hopefully we'll have some fun. So let's play the intro. Here we go.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Loving these Sunday streams. They're a nice break from the sort of higher level, higher thinking, higher preparation streams that I do midweek. We have another week coming up, of course, and we are at 235 days straight, which is just pretty incredible. Just like unreal. How do we get to 235? Anyway, because it's Sunday and we like to chill, I'm going to give a shout out to the person who created this playlist that we're about to pop on. Chad, if you're here with me live, let me know if the music is at good levels. I'm going to pop this on right now and give a big shout out to Harris Heller. Harris Heller is somebody who created a playlist for us streamers to just play this music. No payments necessary, copyright free, royalty free, all good. So I'm going to play this playlist right now and let me know how we're doing. Karma. Already firing away strong with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Karma. I appreciate you. So chat, let me know if the sound levels are okay. And Elton, watching live. Fun will now commence. Asma, Dr. Joella, good to see you. Anna Rude, with the first question of the day. How to earn with affiliate marketing. So if you have a question, help me out and type in question in all caps before your question. If you happen to be a member here, also use your question emoji. That way we can actually see these things. And looks like the sound is cool. Sound is perfect, says Manos. Thank you so much. So how to earn with affiliate marketing. You know, there's a lot of ways to earn with affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing, if you don't know, is earning a revenue or a commission by recommending other people or other companies' products. And the best way to do this is to build trust with a certain group of people and then recommend products that can serve them, right? Now, it obviously will take time to earn that trust, but you can do this much sooner than later by doing things like creating a following on a YouTube channel or building trust on a podcast or writing on a blog, having people understand what you're all about, trusting your recommendations so that when you share something and you show people the insides of something that they may or may not be thinking about getting, or if they happen to have a problem and you know the solution, if there was a problem, I'll solve it, check out my hook as my DJ revolves it sort of situation. Let me know what song that was, Chad, if you happen to know. A little trivia for you today. Then it could be a perfect match. I love affiliate marketing done in a way where it's a win for everybody. It's a win for your audience because you're recommending a product that can actually serve them. It's a win for you because you're earning a commission too if people actually end up purchasing through your affiliate link. And then finally, it's a win for the company too. I love affiliate marketing where it's done directly with the company versus like a third-party product or place like Amazon, for example. But I will say that when you go direct, it does take a little bit more work because on Amazon, you can just sign up and get an affiliate link and you can promote essentially anything. But when you go direct, you can make some special deals. You can get like landing pages created with your face on it to build even more rapport and continue that conversation that you might have had on your own content platform. And then you can go from there. But it always comes from a place of service, just like anything else. We have a super chat or a sticker or something from Nomadables. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you for that super chat. If you have a question, let me know. Ice baby, that's right. What's up, Nick? Good to see you here. Thank you. Team Flynn for the win. Indeed. Thank you so much for that. Question from Nomadables. Oh, here's this question. Good morning, Pat. Should we be marketing our podcast every day or schedule it all into one day like you recommend batching tasks in your podcasting course? Well, thank you, first of all, for being a part of the course. Now, it's really going to be up to you. A lot of people go either way. You could either have a very specific time every single day that you just know that you're going to be doing a podcast recording of some kind and you bake it into your routine. It could be done that way. What I prefer to do, and in fact I feel works better, is have one day of the week, for example, or maybe just a couple days of the week, where during those times, every single week, you're very diligent with going in and recording and batch processing and scheduling interviews during that day and getting up and just knowing that that's what you're all about that day. And I love that because batch processing, you fit in more things in a shorter period of time versus spreading them out. And you're likely to be able to get more stuff done and be in the right mindset and mode to accomplish more. The trouble with scheduling things out every day is that, well, what if you just have an off day? Or what if you take some time and you just don't want to, you're just not feeling it, or there's a scheduling issue or whatnot. I like having larger chunks of time to do more things and then getting ahead in that way. So again, it's going to be really up to you, but I prefer batch processing one day per week to get more than one episode done during that time. Maybe another day of the week is focused on the editing of it if you're still doing the editing yourself, which is perhaps very likely if you're just starting out. And then you can kind of take it from there, if that makes sense. Great question, though. Thank you for that. And thank you again for the super chat. I appreciate you. Chill at Pat. Thank you so much, Peasant Uprising. Good to see you here. Do you have any tips to encourage people to shop early and shop local? Whenever we need to encourage people to do something, there needs to be some sort of incentive. And unfortunately, we humans, we're very selfish. And what I mean by that is there needs to be some sort of selfish-driven incentive, meaning, and there's a lot of marketing that goes, well, let me see if I can do this because it's good for the world. And of course, that's always great. But honestly, most people want to do things that are just for them. And so, and it sounds kind of wrong that I'm saying this. I'm not saying don't do things that are good for the world. I'm not saying don't donate some of your profits to charity. But oftentimes people use that as the marketing method. Like, hey, my marketing sort of angle is going to be, I'm going to donate some of my profits and proceeds to charity. That's a nice bonus, and that's always great. But that's not going to be the reason why people buy. So when we come across incentives, we have a specific reason that a person should be able to come in. Maybe, for example, locally, this is why the example that I love to use is Restaurant Week, right? Restaurant Week provides incentive personally for people to go in and do what? To go locally and eat at restaurants. Now, I don't know how Restaurant Weeks will work during the COVID situation, but people are still eating out at restaurants. I know there's lockdowns in different places and it depends on what state you're in, part of the world, part of the country, etc. But Restaurant Week, think about it. There's incentive for people to come in and eat locally throughout the whole week because there was a coordinated effort between restaurants to have deals that are only available during that time. So how might we be able to have people come in knowing, or at least be aware of the fact that when they come in during this time, there's going to be a reason to come in or something that they would miss out on? Right? Let me know if that's making sense for you. Hi, Pat. Ergonomic chair versus gaming chair since we sit so long working at our desks, says the mature man. You know, ergonomics are very important. You can obviously chat with Dr. Joella here. This is her career. This is her life, is ergonomics. I think there are the best of both worlds. There are ergonomic gaming chairs. Dr. Joella, if you happen to have a recommendation for one, let the mature man know here because he's asking something that's right up your alley. But she would know better than me. But I like a gaming chair that is ergonomic, one that allows your wrists to be at the same level as your keyboard, which I know is very important. Sitting up, although I have a gaming chair and it does have like a nice back on it, I actually have my gaming chair right here. Can't hardly see it, but I don't often sit and lean back. I think I do every once in a while, especially if I'm like in between rounds in Among Us or Fortnite or something. But when I'm gaming, I'm always trying to sit up and provide sort of like uniform pressure from neck to hips. I was gonna say butt, but I did say butt, and then I said it twice, now 3 times. All right. They make ergonomic gaming chairs, says Dr. Joella. Perfect. And again, these questions, I'm just kind of going at random. I'm not going directly in order. I may skip over some. So you're welcome to pop in your question multiple times if I don't get to it, but not in a row, and just use common sense. Don't spam. There's really great moderators here that try to control that spam, as will I. So we don't want you to be banned or get put in the, do we have a spot for the, do we have a name, chat, for the jail, or like the, I think that I was watching a live stream the other day, and the people who were getting banned were being put into the shadow realm, and that's like the shtick that the streamer had for like whoever was spamming, hey, you don't want to end up in the shadow realm. What might we call the shadow realm here on the income stream? Let me know if you have any ideas. Boris the Beast says, is there anything you do during your podcast to jot down good points, clips, and highlight later? Oftentimes, if I'm doing an interview, what I'll do is I will write down notes of really interesting points, but I don't want to have a person stop talking and then just go, hey, hold on, before you go on, like, what did you mention there? Sometimes I'll do that depending on the situation, but in many cases, I'll write down the just a word or two that will remind me about a particular point so that I can go back later in the actual interview and just go, hey, by the way, you had mentioned earlier this interesting thing. Can you unpack that a little bit more? I think our listeners might be a little confused about it. Now, when it comes to highlighting points within the podcast episode, specifically while recording for future purposes, for highlighting those moments on my blog post or pulling out a little clip to put onto social media, which is maybe perhaps more what you were talking about, Boris, that's a little bit more difficult because I record the intros later. And so that, of course, changes the timestamp. Thankfully, now I'm at a point where my team edits my show for me. So I record the interview, I upload it to Dropbox. Separately, I record the intros, I upload them to Dropbox in the same folder. And then my team goes in, edits it, listens to it, and while they're editing and listening to it, they are tasked to, in fact, pull out whatever is interesting to them. And I think that's great because they're also sort of a representative of the audience, listening to it for the first time and kind of having an outside perspective to then determine what's highlighted. So you might have the benefit of having maybe a group of super fans listen to it early and say, hey, which parts were your favorite? I want to pull these out. Maybe it's somebody on your team, or maybe as you're editing, you sort of listen and go from there. Flynn timeout, the downstream. Kai's bad side, says Manos. Brand standing. Pat's jail for spammers. Nice. I don't know. Yeah, we're playing brand standing here. What would you name Pat's jail for spammers? Go. All right. I'm a 15-year-old podcaster. That is awesome. How do I get people to take me and my podcast seriously? I think that, number one, it doesn't matter what age you're at. I think that for those who may not believe that you have value to share, those who may see your age and go, oh, you're not important, those aren't people that you would want to connect with anyway. I mean, we've seen so many young people these days get taken so seriously. I'm thinking of Greta, for example, and her environmentalism and her work as a young person to change the world. She's young as well and still getting recognized because she has really important work and is getting her voice out there. And yes, she does get knocked for her age every once in a while, but at the same time, people feel that she is the future and are backing her and excited for her and what she has to offer. So in terms of seriousness, I would say, despite your age, I would flip that story and go, you know what? I am 15 and I'm already thinking ahead versus, oh, I'm only 15, I don't have as much experience, right? So I think it's more of a mental shift for you versus others. And through your publishing, through you showing up to those and interviewing those and having been interviewed by those who do take you seriously, I think just over time, you're gonna experience more and more of that seriousness and be way ahead of your time. I think I'm jealous that you're starting a podcast at 15. I started my podcast when I was 28-ish. And wow, that's like, you're half that age and starting. I'm so stoked on that. And wow, what an incredible future. All right. Just curious, how far ahead do you plan set goals for your company? Any thoughts on what company will look like in 5 to 10 years? Thank you for this question. We do plan ahead. We, in fact, Matt, my COO, and I, and partner, we do talk about 5 to 10 year plans, and that's mostly between us. Our team members, they don't need to necessarily know what's happening 5 to 10 years from now, though we do have visions and goals for our companies that we do share, mostly in the 2 to 3 year timeline, especially online. We don't know what things are going to look like, but we do have goals and things that we set personally for ourselves and our families as well. We don't just talk about business goals, we talk about life goals. Matt and I, we're that close to each other. Our families know each other and we have kids together, and those end up in our conversations as well. But when it comes to the business, we're definitely planning in terms of like what we're doing, like what our sprints, our 2-week sprints look like, and the work that the team's going to be actually working on next year. We're planned through most of 2021 already in terms of revenue goals, publishing goals, launch goals, and some new experimental and R&D products that we are working on, projects that we're working on too. So it's been really neat. Part of what's helping also is a lot of these sort of experimental projects, we are passing on ownership to some of our team members. So we have, for example, somebody on our team who recently presented to us on her ideas for where we want this vision to go. And you'll see a lot of this start in 2021. And I will say that it involves podcasting and more podcasts, specifically shows that I might and am likely not to even host myself, but are going to be a part of a network. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But look out for that in 2021. And we're doing something big, but we are definitely planning ahead. And we're already trying to figure out what needs to be done and when to meet our certain goals for that. Very cool. Let's keep going here. How's the music, chat? Let me know if it ever gets too loud or too soft. Would love to make sure that it's still good on your ears, because that's very important to me. Sean says, is using Facebook Boost to try and boost a post for your podcast worth it? When we used it, it seemed we got a few likes, but looking at profiles, they seemed fake. You know, it's going to be dependent on who it is that is following your profile or your account already, right? Boosting your post simply means more of the people who are following you are likely getting to find it. I think you can also target your boosts. The best boosts are ones that are driven internally, meaning you're sharing it with more people who have already said that they know you, they like you, and that's how you're going to get more action taken. Taking a post and boosting it and then targeting it to people who don't know who you are, it might be hard because that might be coming out of context. It might seem a little bit more like an advertisement, and people have to still get to know and like you and trust you first before then taking action. So I can see how it might be perceived as, and it may even be true, that these are people who maybe seem fake or just kind of accounts like that. But if it's not working for you, I wouldn't put any more money into it. I think that I just want to commend you for experimenting and trying, and you might want to try one more time. You don't have to spend too much money to just see if it's worth it. And if not, hey, let's spend that money somewhere else. You might benefit from a boost strategy that I've shared to my 201 podcaster students before. And that means if you are, for example, a guest on another person's show and they are popular and they have a big following, pay them to boost their post to their audience, right? It's essentially free money for them, more exposure for them, but you are getting endorsed being on their show. And that's where I would spend money versus like using a boost post on your own stuff as like an ad targeting new people, if that makes sense. Danny says, do people ever get your channel confused with rapper MC Pat Flynn? Yes, that has happened before. Not a family-friendly rapper, by the way, just FYI. But you can check him out. I have actually listened to his music, and he's quite good. His lyrics are great, and I like his beats. So I'm cool with it, but I just don't know if he's like, I'm pretty sure he knows who I am just because I have all the I have all the social media and YouTube accounts for the name Pat Flynn, and he probably is like, that doesn't even look like a Pat Flynn. I do have some Irish in me, so it is, I am true Flynn, quarter at least, quarter Flynn, 8th Irish, 8th Russian, and Polish. No, quarter Irish, 8th Russian, 8th Polish, half Filipino equals this. And so a lot of people see me and they're like, you don't look like a Flynn, let alone a Patrick Flynn. They're like, is your middle name start with an O, Patrick O'Flynn? No, it doesn't. It's a P. It's Philip is my middle name, which is so strange because I hardly ever hear that. Asma says, questions. What's the meaning of sell the sizzle, not the steak? So the steak is essentially the part that is the meat, right? The middle, the actual substance, but the sizzle is the part that's exciting, right? When you put a steak on the grill, on a cast iron skillet, you hear that pop, 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 right? And it's like, that's the sound. That's what gets people excited, right? The steak part is the part that they actually receive, but I don't know necessarily how this applies in many cases. I've heard that phrase before. I haven't really tried to uncover it. Chad, if you happen to know better reasons why that makes sense, let me know. But sell the sizzle, not the steak. Let's actually look this up, because I'm a little bit now curious too. What does sell the sizzle, not the steak mean? reference to old sales technique of selling the benefits of a product rather than the features. The benefits are the sizzle, and the steak is the product or features of the product. Okay, well, I understand the idea of sell the benefits, not the features, but I don't know how that analogy plays through, because the sizzle is a feature. A part of a sizzle of cooking a steak is like, that's a feature. Hey, this cast iron skillet's gonna make your steak sizzle. That's a feature. But it's so that, the benefit is that so you can get a nice sear on the outside, a caramelization of the fats that allow you to just experience umami when you take that first bite, that butter-filled steak bite. There's some imagery there. That sells it, right? And that's the benefit, is the so that this, right? If you wanna, and if you ever have a struggle with understanding features versus benefits, just take a feature of something, like, oh, it has 5 hours of video. Okay, that's a feature. That's not really gonna sell anything. But you take video and go, so that, fill in the blank after so that becomes the benefit, right? So 5 hours of video so that you can follow along step by step and never get lost and make your way to a podcast success story. Excuse me, if that makes sense. Karma says, okay, I'm getting hungry now. Sorry about that. Sell the solution and not the product, says Boris. Yeah, the benefit, right? But this, yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting analogy. Why don't we just say, sell the benefit, not the solution? Question, what do you think of the future of podcasts? The future's looking good, my friend, that's for sure. We have just crossed 1 million podcasts in 2020. That's April 2020 was when we passed 1 million podcasts. I would look toward the pattern of blogging to see what the future of podcasting is. And we are already at the point where people are looking up how to start a podcast more than how to start a blog, which is really, really cool. And this idea of following the path of blogging, Seth Godin recently said podcasting is the new blogging, and he recently said this. We're gonna start to see crazy market growth, crazy market saturation, and there's likely gonna be a downside, but it's not anywhere near where we are now. It's still growing like mad. I think there's more and more money being put into the industry. Findability is gonna be a lot easier, and I think more and more people are gonna find that they're gonna need a podcast in order to compete. This is how we build relationships with, especially the idea, and the fact that when people listen to podcasts, they're listening to whoever it is that's the voice behind the podcast for way longer than a video, way longer than a blog post was being read. I mean, the future is bright for podcasting for sure. If you could say the name of your gaming chair, it is a good example of a good one. I can't find it in my notes. Von Racer? Von Racer. Shonda says, how can we legally take sound bites or clips of other creators to use that we create, for instance, to make additional comments or bring good things to our audience? I will look up a video from a man named Tim Schmoyer called Fair Use. I'm gonna look this up on Google and YouTube right now so you can understand a little bit more about fair use. There is a gray area there, of course, but I'm gonna look this up so you can dive a little bit deeper into it. Fair use, I think. Okay, so if you look up Tim Schmoyer, fair use, he's got some videos here that are really good about fair use. He continues to talk about it over and over again. He's several videos about it, in fact. And there's a lot of interesting videos about this just in general. But Tim Schmoyer, Schmoyer, he's had some of the best stuff that I've seen about using clips. This is, of course, stuff that, yes, you can do, but there is a gray area. And ideally, and again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, this is just my opinion and what I know about it right now, but I've done some research on this. You can take clips and use them, but you can't change the content, and you have to add on to what is being said and not necessarily, you can express it. And of course, we see this happen all the time. A lot of people taking videos from others and just commenting on it, reacting to it, reaction videos, all those sorts of things. Best case scenario is you reach out to that person and you ask for permission just so that you can have some good relations in that way. But again, this is something that's not necessarily required so long as you use it properly. And again, I would look up fair use and perhaps even speak to a attorney about this to learn more about that kind of stuff. Cool. So you want to create a platform for podcasts. That's actually really cool. You'll see what's going on. You'll see what's going on. All right, Prathma Mesh. We are building an online video editor for podcasters, like repurposing audio podcasts into small audiograms. What are the major problems as a podcaster you think we could solve for podcasters? So findability, that's the number one thing. How can we get more people to find our podcast? I love that you're asking questions based on just market research. This is a very smart thing to do. And if you're going to build anything, you need to know the answers of these questions beforehand, right? So I think it's really smart. This is exactly what I talk about in my book, Will It Fly? Before you build the business or create the thing, learn more about the problems and the pains of your target audience. Learn about the language that they use, and I absolutely love that. So when it comes to podcasting, there's a lot of problems. It can take quite a while to get a podcast out, especially if you're just starting out. The editing, it takes a lot of time. Number 2, findability. Number 3, search engine optimization. But when it comes to the idea of taking a piece of audio and then popping it into social media with video, I just want to make it as simple as possible. A lot of times I have to go and find these clips and then have to go and upload my audio. If there was some sort of integration with my hosting provider that did this already, by the way, Buzzsprout can do this for you already, but not everybody's on Buzzsprout, so don't think that you can't do this either. Plus, we've already seen things like repurpose.io and wave.co, wave with 2 V's, who do the same thing. And I would imagine speaking with existing customers of those products to then go, okay, what is missing? What's taking forever? What do you wish was more convenient? That might be a place to go to find out more information specifically for your stuff. Do people ever get your channel confused? Oh, we talked about that already. Is it better to get a DBA or LLC when doing business as your personal brand? So if you are a personal brand, a DBA can be used even with an LLC, and that's in fact what I did for a while. I had and have Flindustries.LLC, so that's my LLC, but I had a separate business, or no, it was in fact a separate brand under the same umbrella. So it was still owned by Flindustries LLC, but I was doing business as Security Guard Training HQ. I was also doing business as foodtrucker.llc, and that allowed me to create a separate business checking account specifically for Food Trucker and specifically for Security Guard Training HQ to have those things separated. And then eventually they each broke off specifically and then became the actual LLC itself. Foodtrucker.llc got sold, Security Guard Training got sold recently, and so I don't even have those anymore. But that's always best practice if you know that you're going to go big with those other brands. Sometimes we just have the one umbrella company and just have multiple brands in different situations underneath without bothering to do a DBA, because that's not as important as it once was, especially if you're going to have like signage and all those kinds of things. But anyway, if you are a personal brand, and I guess maybe the question is, do you stay sole proprietor and just do a DBA, right? So sole proprietor means it's essentially you are the business and you are, and again, I'm not an attorney, a lawyer, professional in this any regard, but based on my experience, sole proprietorship, you don't essentially have to create a new business entity. It's all under your social security number and all that kind of stuff, and the business just runs under you, but everything's connected. Your business and personal, they're very much together, and that's a little bit scary. This is why we incorporate as an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp. Again, the one that's best for you is different, maybe, I don't know, but I started the LLC in 2008 so that I can separate my personal assets from my business assets and have a separate checking account and all these things separated. And that was best and is best practice in my opinion. What works for you is going to be different than what might work for other people too. All right, let's keep going here. Question from Janine. Has live streaming every day helped with your comfort on camera? 1,000%. So much, in fact, that I had once been told by my PR agent that I was going to go live later that day without any preparation. In fact, it was just a couple hours later, and I was not fazed at all. Yeah, I was still a little bit nervous, but I was confident that I could just at least have a couple bullet points, get on live television for, I think it was Florida News Spot or Washington. I can't remember which one it was that was a really quick turnaround, but it's definitely made me feel more comfortable. And that just makes sense, right? The more you do something, the better you get at it, the more your brain just gets into autopilot. And I can come into a live stream now with zero preparation and on the fly have some sort of structure, have some sort of outline. Now, in cases like Q&As like this or website and YouTube channel reviews like yesterday, which we always do every Saturday, I mean, those kind of create itself, right? Questions from you determine the content here. The website reviews, whoever wants to get their website reviewed, that creates the content as I go. And having experience answering a lot of questions, having experience reviewed a lot of websites and YouTube channels before, that comes sort of now again with practice more naturally. But when it comes to my Monday to Thursday live streams, I do come in with a little preparation. I have post-it notes and other things here, are remnants of some of this week's, and I haven't cleaned up my desk yet, but I have gotten a lot better on camera for sure. Would you recommend those starting YouTube channel to start with live video, or should they start with pre-recorded videos? I would say that if you are going to get on YouTube, pre-recorded videos are going to be a lot better. They're going to do a lot more for you. They're going to be a little bit more evergreen. There's a lot less to worry about. I would start with the pre-recorded videos for sure, but going live even every once in a while, and maybe even to just members only, can go a very, very long way. And it does hone in on your skills, but even creating pre-recorded videos are going to hone in on your skills as well. Just getting on camera, turning on the record button, getting a little bit outside of your comfort zone. That's how we grow, right? And I think that you're going to find that, you just got to get through those first like 100 messy videos before you start sort of really seeing results. You can get results much faster for sure, but don't expect your 100 videos to even do anything. And if you get something going, great. If not, hey, you're getting through and learning as you go and honing in on your voice. And that's what I've heard from a lot of people who teach YouTube. It's just like, hey, you just got to get going, hit record, pop these videos up there, learn as you go. You can't be perfect, but have fun with it. How are the kiddos today? They're doing well. They were playing some games with some old friends this morning, which was pretty cool. And Keone used some of his commission money, because we as a family, we offer commission to our kids. We pay them if they deserve to get paid, if they do their chores. If they don't do their chores, then they get some of that removed. It's not an allowance. I don't want them to think that they could just be and make money. They have to do the work, right? So they have a commission, and Keone's been saving up for a while, and he ordered a $100 booster box of Pokemon cards on Amazon on his own with his own money. He paid me, of course, and used my account. And he was like, hey, Daddy, we could save $4 on Honey. And Honey is a Chrome extension that allows you to save money. So it's cool. He's learning how to save money at the same time. And I think that matters when it's his money, right? Which is pretty cool. Cool lesson there. Anyway, it just came in the mail today, and he's going to do a fun little family box opening, just like those YouTubers who sit there and open packs. And we do it very slowly. They'll take about an hour and a half, but he's really excited for that experience. And hopefully we get some good pulls. Wish us luck. That should be a lot of fun. And then Kai, I think, was doing some more sewing this morning. She's been sewing these little Among Us characters, and she's making these as gifts for people for Christmas. Check this out. She made this for her brother. Her brother always plays Red in Among Us. And she sewed this herself. How cute is this? It has like some cotton stuffing in it. It's just felt. Super cool. Let's see. Question: what would you say to someone that blogs or YouTube that says blogs or YouTube is better than podcasting due to searchability issues with podcasting? I would say, yeah, in that regard, 100%. I would say you're absolutely right. High five. You know the world of content. But I would also say that podcasting is better for length of time with an audience that you build, for the ability for you to create deeper relationships much more quickly. It's much easier to produce, right? I can record a podcast with just a microphone, and I don't need to put on my camera. I don't need to put on my makeup and mascara. I don't even need to put on pants. You don't need to know, and I promise you I am wearing pants right now. But no underwear. No, I'm just kidding. I am wearing underwear. Never going commando. Why are we talking about this? Anyway, there's a lot of pros and cons, right? So I would love to have just an honest discussion with this person about, pros and cons and how we might be able to eventually achieve both. And this is why I love where I'm at now. And I've gotten to this point eventually. Did not start out this way, because in 2008, I started my blog. 2009, I started my YouTube channel. 2010, I started my podcast. 2011, started speaking on stage. 2013, started writing books. Excuse me. 2020, having a lot of gas. Wow. Okay. But yeah, searchability is terrible for podcasting. Findability is hard. Word of mouth is really what is spreading podcasts more than anything these days, to be honest. And over time, however, and we're already seeing this with Spotify, I eventually imagine that there will be, this is my prediction, there will be a YouTube for podcasters, where it's going to be a lot easier to upload, but B, more than likely a lot easier to follow and find and get recommended new podcasts too. It's just a little bit different of an audio of a medium because it's audio. So we're not in front of a screen when we're listening, right? And that's the kind of interesting thing about it. Question from Peter: where do you get the effects on the Rodecaster? So you can download them from different places. I recommend audiojungle.net. You may also be able to find some royalty-free or not copyrighted sound effects elsewhere, and you can create your obviously own sound effects, or you might be able to get access to a bank of sound effects as well. I'm so glad I'm here for this info, just what I needed. You're welcome, Boris. Thank you for being here, by the way. There needs to be a better search engine made for podcasts, to be honest, like the Google of podcasts. Well, guess what? Google is trying to create the Google of podcasts. Google in 2020 has made tremendous strides with findability using their search bar for podcasts. They've now put podcasts in an array of, if you put, actually, let me just show you. And again, I haven't done this in a while, so it might be different now. But if I go to Google, good morning. Smart Passive Income Podcast. You'll be able to actually play podcast episodes directly from, look at that, it literally says podcasts now, which is really cool. Next, if I look up personal finance podcasts, look at this. Boom. It's coming, just people don't know to use these things yet, right? So it's coming. It's coming. Bruh, Sprout. That's so funny.
Bruh.
Hey, what happened to the music? Oh, okay. We were in between songs. Sorry. Yo, anything cameras? What's up? Glad you were here. Question from Consult a Blind Guy. He says, what are your thoughts on people who build email lists for the purpose of selling the addresses to a third party for passive income? Thumbs down, in my opinion. That's not cool. I'd rather you build an email list so that you can have a stronger relationship with your audience and generate income through providing solutions that make sense to them, right? The mature man. Pat is amazing with how giving he is. I always learned so much that I didn't even know what I wanted to learn about or wanted to know. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is why I love these community settings like this and Q&As and shows like Ask Pat, where we can just kind of crowdsource ideas from each other, essentially. I'm just the conduit, right? I'm just the fuse box in between all these different people and all these different problems, pains, needs, solutions, whatever. I'm just kind of trying to become the resource. And when I can better serve others, I know it always comes back in one way or another. And it's cool because the community starts to support each other in this way, and I really love that. Karma, when using Ecamm to record my screen, the recording is very skippy and not smooth. Do you have this issue? How to fix it? I'm using Ecamm to record my gameplay. It might be a result of either A, your hardware, it may not be up to par, it just might struggle a little bit. I've also noticed, and many of you were here earlier this week, when my computer, which I hadn't actually restarted for a while, it was starting to buffer and skip quite a bit, even on the live stream. I wasn't even recording. And unfortunately, as a result, the quality was not so great, even with a really high-end MacBook Pro. But I restart and we're fine there. So you may need a computer restart to try it first. Number two, your recording settings. You want to make sure that maybe you're recording at maybe 720 instead of 1080, so that when you record, you're not using all the resources and whatnot. Number three, frame rate is important as well. The frame rate on your gaming system, I've noticed, matters when it comes to recordings. For example, if you're trying to record 120 and it's really smooth on your gaming system, but then on Ecamm, because it's recording at, I don't know, 29.97 or 30 or whatever, it's just not matching up and it just starts to skip. So it might take some, going back and forth, Karma, to just determine whether or not that will work. But I've used Ecamm as well for recording, not games, but, not going live, but just recording. And I've had experienced issues like that before. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Probably 75.9 last time I heard. Let's see. What are the best non-business books for business? The War of Art and The Art of War. Both of those by different authors. Sun Tzu, of course, The War or The Art of War, and then Stephen Pressfield by The War of Art. Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath. Essentialism, which is more of a personal development book, but definitely applicable for business and business decisions. And how to win friends and influence people. Probably my number one pick. That was a countdown without me even knowing. But definitely how to win friends and influence people is an absolute game changer in terms of relationship building and will have an impact on your business. Discover Ignite says, does going live hurt your channel? Should I do a separate channel to do lives? This is an interesting thing, right? There's many people who go live and it helps their channel. There is a Pokemon channel that I follow. I've been really big into Pokemon lately. I mean, literally investing in booster boxes recently, and really cool. I'm gonna nerd out a little bit. Nerding out on like promos, and I mean, I have a 1996 booster that's unopened, PSA 10. These are my favorite cards here. Hold on. All right, just give me a minute. Check out this card. Pikachu Monk. Scream, but it's Pikachu. How crazy does that card look? This is like a $1,500 card, which is crazy. I bought this Mario Pikachu for about... Actually, I have a whole bunch of them. So Mario and Luigi, right? I bought these together, all four, for $800. I recently saw these, all four of these sold on eBay for $6,000. Just the Pokemon prices are just going crazy right now. But anyway, I'm just a young kid, really, or an old kid, I guess. But it's also something fun to bond with the kids over. Anyway, going back to this question of does going live hurt your streaming? Sorry, Pokemon, I just want to talk about it. Pokerev, Pokey, P-O-K-A-E-R-E-V, a channel that I follow, a good friend, in fact. He listened to the Smart Passive Income podcast and read the blog in 2011. So when I reached out to him to say thanks, he was like blown away because he used to follow Smart Passive Income and he's crushing it. He's about to hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Every time he goes live to do these pack openings, he gains 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers. YouTube has been doing more and more recently to share more of these live streams with people, which is pretty cool. Now, I will say though, if you are doing them often, it's hard because I've noticed that my live streams have been not hurting the channel, but not helping as much as when I do pre-recorded videos. These live streams, as much as I try to have a really interesting title and a compelling thumbnail and all that kind of stuff, they don't, I found, get shown to and recommended to as many people as my pre-recorded videos do. Now, does it hurt my channel? Not necessarily, but at the same time, when I go live every day, some people just aren't interested in the topic, and that doesn't help me for sure. Versus Pokerev, whenever he goes live, it's a brand new opening of something, and you just kind of like, I drop what I'm doing and I go and watch him live. And I don't have that here on this channel. So I think it depends on the channel and what people can expect there when you do go live, or how much you've set up this idea. He also plans these things ahead of time and makes a big deal about it. He has a lot of members. I think he has thousands of members. I only have a few hundred here on the channel, but that's okay. And so he'll get a lot of love when he goes live, which is pretty cool. So yeah, thanks for the thumbs down. Still helps with the channel. Thank you. Pika. All right. Let's see. How to win friends and influence people, for sure. We are all kids at heart, for sure. Yes. Good. Let's see. How do I get people to find my podcast? Number one, create podcast episodes worth talking about. The best and number one best way to have people discover your show is when a friend of theirs who they already trust recommends it to them, right? That's always going to work best. Now, that's not necessarily scalable. I mean, it is in a way, but that's not necessarily something that we can plan for. You want to create stuff that gets people talking and connecting with each other about your show. And when your show becomes the center of a discussion, a group meeting, or a conversation, online, offline, that's always going to be best. Secondly, a great way to grow your show is to, beyond the content within, get to be a guest on another podcast. This works way better than advertising. It's the best advertising possible, and you don't even have to pay for it often. You go on another person's podcast, here's what happens. That host has already spent the time to earn trust with an audience. Now you show up on their platform in front of this audience who has yet to find you, and now they found you. and now you're getting endorsed by the person that they already trust. And now your voice is showing up, you're delivering value, and now people with their apps that are already open, they're already listening to a podcast. They can just simply find your podcast from there, versus even on social media, a person has to retweet something, because most people who are following you on social media already are following you. I mean, that's just the truth. You have to hope for viral sharing on social media to have that social capability and that viral finding. But the person's already open with that app, and that's a lot less friction. So those are the two strategies I would definitely work on. Yeah, creating noteworthy, spread-worthy, viral-worthy content for sure. That might take you getting a little bit outside of your comfort zone. It might take you taking a little bit of a risk. But the cool thing about that is, as a 15-year-old, for those of you who are tuning in later now, I don't know how to pronounce your name, by the way. Can you spell it out phonetically for me, or if anybody knows how to? I don't want to mispronounce it. But this person's 15 years old. You got time on your side, so much upside for improvement, so much upside and time to get better, and you have less risk, right? You can take these bolder actions without risk, like a person who may have a 9-to-5 job already, or a person who might have a large or small family with young kids to feed, for example. This is something that often Gary Vee talks about, is just this idea for young people to just, this is your time to take some risks. I don't mean like super risky, life-threatening things, but risky things that maybe people who are a little bit more, have things on the line that they just can't do, or just are a little bit scared to do, if that makes sense. Cha'anad? Cha'anad? I'm sorry. Cha'anad. Maybe that one. Cha'anad? All right. Let's see. Thank you, Pat Flynn. Receive my mystery box and appreciate the different items and personal note from you. You're welcome, Ryan. So Ryan had won a giveaway a number of weeks back. I'm so glad it got to you. And this giveaway was for a mystery item. So that's really cool. You don't have to share what it is exactly, although I'm sure people are going to ask. Preach it, Pat, says Peasant Uprising. High five. Really sounds like a slap, right? This is my whip for the haters, right? And then cool. We're missing Xenia and Blada today. We are missing Xenia and Blada. Hence the accent. Okay. I'm not great with Cha-Ned? Anyway, you're awesome. 15 years old, podcasting, incredible. Wasif, what's up, Wasif? Good to see you here. Thanks so much. Let's see. Wow, crazy. We're only 10 minutes away from the end of the show. How crazy is that? Hi, Pat, is there any benefit for posting a video as instant premiere when posting YouTube video? There are benefits. I don't think they would have this, or people would use it if it wasn't of some sort of substance or value, but it's interesting, right? So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about the ability for you to either schedule a video to come out, to just publish now as soon as you have a video ready, or to set what's called an instant premiere. And an instant premiere allows you to schedule a video that then plays live at that time that you set, with a live chat to come along with it. And the cool thing about this is that people can see this video, see a countdown timer, click, very similar to our live streams here, a button to get notified that a video is coming out. And so if you happen to have a really, really great video that you've been promoting and maybe preaching for a while, and it's exciting, and you've said, hey guys, on this date, at this time, this video is gonna go live, hit the bell notification icon to get a notification, come join the live chat, let's sit down, have some popcorn, watch this together. And then the video just sort of like comes out and lives on like a regular pre-recorded video. It just so happens you're creating an event around the moment where it comes out. And I think where it would not benefit you is if the video is either lackluster or not, just it's sort of just like a regular video. Although I can see cases where if everybody loves every single video that you come out with, and they can kind of expect these videos and what to expect within them, then a live premiere sort of like that can work. But in most cases, I think just either scheduling a video to go out And then also, if it is a rather large, big deal, an event like launch of this video, then maybe it's a new music video, for example, that if you're an artist or if you are an entrepreneur, maybe it's a really big interview that you want to have to come out and you can be live in the chat to sort of like meet people, talk to people while there. I can see it working, but I can also see it not really working as well. But that is interesting. I've never tried it. I've never tried it myself. It might be interesting to one day, if I spend a lot of time on a video and I know it's going to be something that I would love to have like the community watch all at the same time together, that might be really interesting. Does this mean that you are admins? Yes. Karma's an admin. K-Walk, Comedy, and Samson are only 3 right now, and most of you could probably be admins as well because you're all just stepping up to help out and reduce spam, and I'll add more as the community continues to grow. But if I don't make you an admin, it doesn't mean I don't love you. I love you either way. Pat's t-shirt is awesome. Thank you. I literally just got it today. Like, I opened my loot box. I ordered a loot box crate. I don't subscribe to it. I just saw a Back to the Future related one. In fact, I can share with you. Loot box getting a little shout out today. Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, send me a little note and that way I can hear it. So this came in the loot box. So check out this lunch box. Yo, sick. Sick. This shirt, of course. I honestly don't know what this is. I have no idea what that is. It does say 35. This is, of course, for the 35-year anniversary of Back to the Future. I'm always reluctant to open things out of their plastic now because I know as soon as I do that... Oh, I think this is a beverage container, a beverage holder. Yeah, okay. It looks like the Marty McFly's life vest, though. Right? That's kind of cool. See how it's stitched like that? That's pretty dope. A sticker, some stickers. So Loot Sci-Fi. Thank you, Loot Sci-Fi. I bought this. They didn't send it to me. So a match made in space t-shirt. That's this. You'll see Lorraine and George there. Flux capacitor lunchbox. Oh, this is pretty sweet. So this mug, sorry, I'm blocking the microphone. This mug changes from probably Twin Pine Malls to Lone Pine Mall when it gets hot, which is pretty sick. And then I have a poster, a Enchantment Under the Sea poster. Dope. Thanks, Somatables. Look at that. So this is all that comes. Yeah, Lone Pine Mall. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. I like that a lot. Anyway, sorry, nerding out with you today. But hey, it's a little bit more chill. Yeah. I just have way too many toys now. Oh. Okay. They know Pat well. They send a mug. I'll have to... Again, I'm always like, should I open it? Because value, but like, I kind of want to use it. I think I'm going to use it. It's a smaller mug, though. I need a big mug. I drink a lot of coffee. This unboxing is really fun. I'm starting to see the appeal of unboxing videos, right? I need to do more, right? I need to do more. This is why these Pokemon channels are crazy, because every pack is like an unboxing, and you never know, that next box could be the one with the ultra rare VMAX Charizard, or the base set first edition $100,000 Charizard, anyway. Athlete Remedy, thoughts on having multiple lead magnets to grow email lists as opposed to just one that is always used? 1000% recommended. Now, not recommended to do at the beginning. In the beginning, I see a lot of people try to adopt this strategy, so they spend time creating 4 or 5 different lead magnets and then release them into the wild. Don't do it that way. Everybody's too confused. Which one's the best? You're talking about too many things at the same time. What's the one thing I should get is what people are going to say. But over time, after having that initial lead magnet that is going to be most beneficial to people, right? The one that's sort of shared everywhere or is your most common category-based lead magnet, then you can create a second one, and one that may benefit other people who just aren't already getting access to the first one or don't want it. You can also send it to, this is what I love to do when I have new lead magnets come out. I will send it first to people who are already subscribed. I don't need to worry about them resubscribing to go and get it because they already are on my email list. So I can give it to them early. It feels like a secret prize or a fun little giveaway or gift that they get access to. It makes them feel special. It continues to encourage them to open emails. It helps them realize that there's always going to be value in them. And then I can release it to the wild as a second lead magnet somewhere else on a page or category, or I can mention it. Maybe it's on a landing page and I mention it in a podcast about that same topic. So I would definitely get to that point where you can get more than one lead magnet for sure, because this is something that I saw once. It was called The Machine by Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher. I can't remember the names, but it was essentially this cycle of lead magnet number one for the top category. That brings a certain number of people in and they go into a funnel. Then boom, move to number two, second lead magnet. That's going to get us another group of people and they either go into the same funnel or maybe a different funnel. Number three and number four, and it just becomes like these spokes on this wheel that cover all the different categories, so that no matter why people are on your website, they're eventually going to find the one thing that they're going to be incentivized to then subscribe for. If that makes sense. Gotta run, bruh. Thank you. Love you. Love you too, man. Appreciate you. Bruh. Thanks for the super chat earlier, by the way. I hope there's a FlynnCon 2021. I want to come, hopefully, meet Quaranteam. Man, if we can have events again in 2021, I would be super ecstatic. I would love to have the Quaranteam come in and fly in and just all meet each other. We can have a special income stream sort of like gathering, and just, dude, it would be so much fun. We could play games, we could play brand standing in person, and actually play it the real way with like the investment cards and all that stuff. That'd be so fun. That was fun. Lex says, question, would the video camera Marty brought back to 1955 been able to connect to the TV by Doc Brown? TVs were brand new back then, thus, what's a rerun, right? So they used the JVC camera. It was in 1985. It was the red one that allowed you to put a VHS tape in it. And the question is, would he be able to go back in time? And I think you saw him in the scene where he is in Doc Brown's garage and they're fiddling with the TV back then. There would be ways to do it. It would have to be wired in and connected in, but it would be possible, I think. Game night. I hope you guys like Hot Fudge Sundays. Cool. Yo, we are at the top of the hour already. How in the world did we get in? Quirshi, wake up. I see you. Thanks for being here, by the way. Anyway, you're amazing, sir. You are fully a good, truly good person. Always help your audience. Much love to you. Thank you so much. That's the first time we slapped somebody here, like who's actually here. I apologize about that. What camera are you using right now? I'm using right now a Canon EOS R with a, I think, 20 millimeter 2.8 aperture lens, which is how we get this nice bokeh effect, especially if I zoom in, like if I do this. Look at that background change. That's insane. And this is a higher end mirrorless camera, but it's super fun. All right. Question, can I give an invite to watch a vid by one of our own? Yeah, pop in the link in the chat. Don, you've been a member here, I trust you. Let's see, what's this month's charity? So we're still continuing to offer money to teachers. I want to do this for the rest of the year, having it be a really, really interesting year, especially for teachers. What a big win for education yesterday, by the way. I'm not going to talk too much about politics here. I never do, but I'm very, very thrilled for Biden's wife and her education-focused platform and her doctorate degree in education. That's huge. Oh man, one day if I were able to work with her, that'd be amazing. And also Kamala and her mom being in education and science. Like, what a big win for education. I don't want to talk about red or blue or anything like that, but a big win for education for sure. So that's cool. So yeah, we're still supporting education right now. So thank you so much for asking. And hey, it's about that time for me to go eat some breakfast with the family, for you to go hang out with yours and have some fun today too. Stay warm, everybody. I appreciate you. For those of you who are in Florida or, be safe. I know there's some hurricanes and things happening right now, so please be safe. Happy Sunday. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And let me go get the calendar so that we can see exactly what time we're going to start, because it's a new week and things change sometimes, and sometimes I have some other things going on. So let me go to the Google Calendar. So tomorrow we're gonna start at 8:30. 8:30 a.m. Pacific. So we're gonna move it forward about a half hour because I got a meeting coming up right after that. Yo, super sticker from Aveen. Thank you so much. Hands doing a fist bump.
Bruh.
That's back at you. Thank you so much. All right. Montana's snowing. Wow, stay cool. All right, everybody, Discover Night, thank you. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Thank you, Antonica. Appreciate you. Thank you, everybody. This has been amazing. Let me shut down the music. Thanks again to Harris Heller for providing us streamers royalty-free music to just use in the background. Thank you. Always great to connect. You start my day so well every day, and I'm going to continue to show up for you. Day 236 tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Cheers, take care, and as always, Team Flynn for the win.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream.
I just realized something.
Kind of show where you can come and go.
I forgot the secret word.
With no fee required, the
I
income
totally
stream.
lollygagged and forgot the secret word, and it doesn't count when I say it in the last 5 minutes. So I could either keep the stream going for 6 more minutes, or just take the penalty. I'm gonna take the penalty. Remind me on Friday, we're playing some Watch Your Mouth. We're playing some Watch Your Mouth. Anyway, I totally forgot. Thank you so much. No Twitch today, and we'll see you later. Peace out, y'all.
Bruh.
Much love.